In this video, we're going deep into the historic heart of the city, where 2,000 years of history are carved into every stone. We start in the old Bazaar streets of Ulus, winding through narrow Ottoman lanes filled with spices, dried fruit, and leather. Then we climb higher, past centuries-old timber-framed houses, through the ancient Hisar Gate, and into Ankara Castle itself. What waits at the top is a 360-degree panorama that changes everything. Along the way, we uncover Roman columns reused in Byzantine walls, a 12th century mosque hidden inside the citadel, and stories of caravans, horse traders, and merchants who once ruled these streets. This isn't the Ankara you see in brochures. This is the real, living Ankara, and I'm taking you with me. Welcome to Ankara, the capital of Turkey. We're starting near Ankara Mosque, right where Anatolian Street meets Ichisar Street.
Bura daha iyi. Bizimki direkt şurada duruyormuş.
Sen geri aldın.
Teker şurada, bizim araba burada.
From here we'll climb up through Sokak and Gozkı Sokak, an old route that leads straight to Ankara Castle. This path takes you past the best of the old bazaar streets on the way up. Ankara Castle sits on a hill about 110 meters above the modern city center. Small shops start appearing as the street climbs toward the castle. Keep an eye on the buildings as we go. A lot of Ankara's oldest surviving architecture is hiding in this direction, not in the newer parts of the city. Traditional Ankara houses start appearing, timber-framed, with the upper floor jutting out over the street. This style is typical 17th to 19th century Ottoman civil architecture. Many of these houses have been converted into small modern cafes while keeping their original wooden facades. This slope has been a market route since Ottoman times. Notice how the street narrows here. It was built for foot traffic and pack animals, not cars. Every street heading up to the castle in this district eventually turns into a small market like this one. This whole area was historically Ankara's trade and craft quarter, feeding the castle above. Carpet sellers, spice shops, dried nuts, souvenirs, antiques, and jewelers line this stretch.
Merhaba.
This is one of the last places in Ankara where you can still see a working Ottoman-era tradesman street. Many of these shops have been run by the same families for generations. Street musicians add some live atmosphere to the climb. Local music and impromptu performances are common along this route, especially on weekends. The mix of smells here, spices, dried fruit, leather, hasn't changed much in a very long time. Some of the antique dealers along this stretch still carry Ottoman-era household items, coins, and textiles. Ankara was historically famous for one product above all: mohair, made from the wool of the Angora goat, the animal that actually gave the city its old Western name, Angora. This part of Ankara is called Ulus, the historic heart of the city, long before the modern districts further south existed. Ulus was actually the center of Ankara well before the Turkish Republic was founded here in 1923. Streets like this one follow the same layout they had a century or more ago: narrow, uneven, built for walking. The castle walls come into view for the first time. The higher we climb, the more the street starts to feel like it belongs to another century. A quiet street lined with small art studios and galleries. This area has become a modest arts quarter tucked into the historic castle district. Vinyl records, old CDs, and paintings spill out of these little shops. A flea market feel, right in the shadow of the castle walls.
Gezmeye gezin ama evinde gezmemiş. Annem istemiyor. İşte biz de ondan tartışıp bak. Öbürü diyor.
Browsing here feels less like shopping and more like flipping through decades of Ankara's everyday life. A lot of what's sold along this stretch was never made for tourists. It's genuine second-hand and antique stock from local households.
Bir şey yapmadım, gördüm çıkmış.
Ottoman cauldrons and handmade souvenirs on display. Items like these were once everyday household tools. Now they're collector's pieces. This building is the Rami M. Coach Museum, sitting directly across from the castle's main gate. It opened in 2005 as Turkey's first major industrial museum. It's housed inside two restored Ottoman caravanserais, Sengilhan and Safranhan. Sengilhan dates back to 1522, commissioned under Suleiman the Magnificent. The museum holds over 3,000 objects, vintage cars, trains, ships, and early technology. This spot used to be Ankara's old horse market, known as a Pazari. This is one of the steepest approaches to the castle, but also the most rewarding. You get the market, the old houses, and the walls all in one walk. The whole square in front of us used to be a trading hub. Caravans, horse traders, and merchants passing right beneath the castle walls. This is the last stretch before the actual entrance to Ankara Castle. This is Hisar Kapisi, the main gate into Ankara Castle.
Çöp kutusu sonunda.
Where are you from?
Above the gate is a 14th century inscription from the Ilkhanid ruler Ebu said Bahadur Khan, once used to record local tax and trade rules.
Burada da var. Magnezyum.
Ankara Castle is actually built in two layers, an outer castle and an inner citadel. The outer walls were first built by the Byzantines in 668 AD, on top of much older Roman and even Galatian foundations. These houses were originally home to Ankara's merchant and craftsman families, close enough to the castle to reach shelter quickly if needed. Notice the overhanging upper floors. This design, called a kumba in Turkish, was meant to give extra room upstairs without widening the street below. A lot of these buildings survived by pure luck. Much of old Ankara was cleared for modern development in the 20th century, but this pocket near the castle was preserved. Historians believe the very first fortifications here date to the Galatians, a Celtic people who settled the region around the 3rd century BC, which is where the old name Galatia comes from. No entry fee is required to walk through the castle grounds.
Buyurun bahçemiz var dinlenmek isterseniz. Meşhur portakallı Türk kahvemizi deneyin. Güçlenmek için ha güzel.
Nasıl olabilir?
Inside these walls, families have lived for centuries. This isn't a museum-only site, it's still a living neighborhood.
Hadi lütfen. Seni geri eve götürüyorum.
Al Mesut'a gel. Al da gel abla. Çok yağmur var. Oteli Mustafa Paşa'ya gittik işte orada otel oradaydı. Hani çıkalım keşif yapalım girdikten sonra.
Bilerek yapıyorsun ama. Bilerek yapıyorsun ama.
Taze nohut, taze nohut, taze nohut.
Onun gibi çiğ sıkıyorlar. Dedik anca gidelim.
Yağmur arkamdan kaybolma.
Alayım mı size? Çağır çocukları, toplan. Kaç kaç?
Bence buraya yapacağım. Şurada güzel. Al çocuklara.
Çocuklar alacağım, görsünler. Al şuna bir tane. Hepsini karıştır. Allah geldi.
Sen tutalım abi. Ben
These walls have stood, in some form, since antiquity, rebuilt and reinforced by Romans, Byzantines, Seljuks, and Ottomans in turn. Look closely at the stones and you'll spot fragments of old Roman columns and carved blocks reused in later repairs. These outer sections of wall are some of the oldest visible stonework in the city. After the Seljuk victory at Manzikert in 1071, the castle came under Turkish control by 1073. Sultan Alaeddin Kikabad ordered major repairs in 1227, and Sultan İzzet Kikabus expanded it further in 1249. Many of the stones in these walls are spolia, reused Roman columns, statue bases, and carved blocks recycled from older ruins. Over the centuries, this castle changed hands many times. Romans, Byzantines, Seljuks, even Crusaders briefly held it in 1101.
Ya bir soralım ne malzeme ne kadar?
100 TL abla, hepsine karıştırıyorum.
Yani müsaade et onu. Neyse görüşürüz.
Şimdi gidelim de döndürmeden gel.
The Inner Citadel covers roughly 43,000 square meters. Its walls rise 14 to 16 meters high and are reinforced by around 42 pentagon-shaped towers.
Burada Japon yok.
This is Alaeddin Mosque, right at the entrance to the Inner Citadel.
Pislik herifler ya. Pislikler istiyoruz yani.
It was built in the 12th century, 1178, according to most sources, by the Seljuk ruler Muhyiddin Mizid. It's considered the oldest mosque still standing in Ankara. Its wooden columns and carved minbar are rare surviving examples of early Seljuk craftsmanship in the city.
Buraya gelin bak Kübra buraya gel buraya tahta koymuşlar.
Orayı kaç 80 lira çekiyormuş.
Orada geçmişine çektim. Ha 30 lira o da.
Tamam o 80, 30, 25 lira.
These narrow step paths between the houses are original to the old citadel layout. Locals sometimes call this neighborhood the Castle Village, a small residential pocket inside a monument.
Türk mü yabancı mı?
30 bin lira gider.
Yabancı.
Orada tekinde orada.
You can take
Kilo başta 5 lira.
not like gold.
Üstüne çekmiş 30. Aynı 30. Ya tamam. Ben 7 kilo. Bana 7,5 kilo istedim. 30 lira. Ben de şimdi o ile hem de şimdi çektim. Gençler buyurun.
Climbing further, you start to feel why this hill was chosen as a fortress. The rock face itself is a natural defense.
Ama şimdi daha büyük bir iş var. Sıfırdan mı bilmiyorum.
Böyle doğal taşlar birlikte tespitler koyalım efendim buyurun.
Sen göremem ben.
Evet, iyi de.
Gene de.
Böyle doğal taşlar birlikte tespitler koyalım efendim buyurun.
Anons ettirelim mi kadını?
Evet.
Look at the base of the walls. The lower courses are marble and basalt, while the upper sections mix Ankara stone with brick, added in later repairs.
Evet çok güzel gezdik bak. Biliyor musun?
Yeter bu kadar.
Ablası elinden tut. Sen de Zeynep elinden tut. Bu taraftan git. Bir taraftan iniş. Bir saniye. Olsun. Bu taraftan iniş olsun. Bu taraftan iniş. Şuraya çık dur orada.
Baba şuradan şöyle çıkmak.
Gel. Elimden tutmadan yürümek yok, tamam mı burada?
Elim yanamıyor ya ablamda. Ben mi koydum buradan?
Vay be. Aşağıya gitti oraya.
From up here, you get a sweeping view over all of Ankara. On a clear day, you can see for kilometers across the city in every direction. The highest point of the inner citadel is called a Kale, also known locally as Alaeddin.
Bugün
Çıkma.
Merak ediyorsun.
This 360-degree panorama is one of the best free viewpoints in the capital, especially near sunset. The castle also hosts festivals and cultural events throughout the year.
Bina var yatay tam karşıda. Orası Ankara'nın cebecinin şey tam.
Yaptı.
Bir şey yapsın.
Evet. Tepenin arkasında.
Murat amcam alınacak bir şey.
Takıcı şekerleri alabilir.
Yani şuradan da inebilir ama oradan da bak alınabilir. Takıcıların olduğu yerden. Asaf'a çıkartlar yazıyor buraya. Hafif ya Asaf. Ichisar Street.
El kameraya kod dediğim sen yapıyorsun. Tuğa, telefon aşağı indi. Böyle bir baktı. Eli çekme diyor şurada. Tamam ben. Telefon aşağı indi. Aptal insan. Kavan parlıyor. Hadi açıldı. Tamam dokun da kanat yüksel. Bir dokun değil mi?
Nasıl manzara? Güzel mi?
Pardon, beni bir çekebilir misiniz rica etsem?
Gel babacığım bir abla çekinsin.
Teşekkür ederim.
Arkadaş pek şey atlatıyor.
Tam alamayız.
Abla iyi bakıyorum. Bilecek kucağına şu an.
Dur kız. Aşağı atacak halin yok mu?
Ben güzel alanla seni çekeyim.
Kale gözüküyor. Akılın birisi çıkar buradan aşağıya. Ankara Kalesi'nde.
Ichisar Street is one of the most atmospheric corners of the whole castle district.
Sadece çubukta değil.
Alayım ben sana bir çubuk balık. Ayıp mısın?
O dediğin kafe burası işte.
These streets on the far side of the citadel are lined with more old Ankara houses, some restored, some still waiting for it. Here's a quick look at the historic clock tower right beside the castle before we wrap up.
Buldun mu annemle de? İnmedin mi daha aşağı? Niye insene? Eski görevini görmüyor kızım. Ay biz buluruz sen in. Ne böyle? Bak kim geliyor? Tam onların olduğu yer araba park edecekler. Ama yola yakın zaten. Onu bilmiyorsun ya.
Ben çünkü onları tek biliyorum.
Just below the castle is the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations, home to artifacts spanning from the Paleolithic era through the Ottoman period. It's regarded as one of Turkey's most important archaeological museums. The entrance is on the other side. That's a story for another video, so stay subscribed.